Hello, I'm Sky with SkyOnMedia.com, and today we're going to talk about mind power and understanding the will, also the three basic building blocks of the awareness or of the human being and the consciousness and or the soul, whatever you want to call it. So first, what is will? We've talked about it being like a two-sided force as relating to power, but it's a mystery that rests in the very heart of the human experience, scattered throughout books, in history and religion, as a major player in the evolution and the advancement of man, and in man as a human being. All the amazing abilities of the mind have meaning only if the will is healthy and alive and able to direct us properly. So what is this mystery principle called will? As a non-physical thing, we can only identify the qualities that it brings to living, or how it helps to guide and establish a profound meaning in our lives. The role of will is among the most fundamental in contemporary spiritual thought and consciousness studies. Will is mentioned in many studies of esoterics and power as a force and a tool, yet it's never clearly identified or explained, let alone how to direct and to use will. So we know the power of will in the mind have measurable effects on the healing and developmental abilities of the brain, chemical, electrical, and physical, which we addressed in another video. Why are we not further as a civilization? We have discovered the reality of psychosomatic health, the power of the mind to heal. Why are there so many sick? We've discovered the underlying oneness of all mind. Why is there so much discord and animosity? We've discovered the connections between human consciousness and the planet. Why do we consume, or why do we continue to pollute and have discord for the environment? We are missing a genuine interaction with this forgotten mystery of human experience, or will. It's up to your choice of awareness. So studies done by the University of Arizona, professors of psychology and cognitive neuroscience. In this experiment, subjects' brain waves were measured with an EEG while shown images with hidden objects in them for 170 milliseconds. The question posed was, does the brain process these hidden shapes to the level of meaning, even when the subject doesn't see them? So the answer or result of the study: the participants in this experiment don't see these shapes on the outside or the hidden shapes. Nonetheless, the brain signature tells us that they have processed the meaning of the shapes. But the brain rejects them as interpretations, and if it rejects the shapes from conscious perception, then you don't have any awareness of them. So why is the brain processing the meaning of these hidden shapes? So why is the brain processing the meaning of the shape when it's not ultimately going to perceive it? So the traditional opinion of vision research is that this would be wasteful in terms of resources. If you're not going to ultimately see the image, then why would the brain waste all the resources processing that image up to the level of meaning and understanding? Theorists assume that if it takes a lot of energy for brain processing, that the brain is only going to spend time processing what you're ultimately going to perceive. But in fact, the brain is deciding what you're going to perceive, and it's processing all of that information, and then it's determining what the best interpretation is going to be for you. So this is a window into what the brain is doing all the time. It's always shifting through a variety of possibilities and finding the best interpretation for what's out there, and the best interpretation may vary with the situation. You can check out the video on being a creative rebel that I've created on the blog at SkyOnMedia.com for an exercise or a technique on expanding the mind outside this limited field of past experience. So remember that in this study with the University of Arizona, that the image was only shown for 170 milliseconds, yet the brains were able to complete the complex process necessary to interpret the meaning of the hidden objects. So another study done by the Okinawa Institute attempted to simulate 1 second of human brain activity using 82,944 processors. They succeeded in creating one artificial neural network of 1.73 billion nerve cells connected by 10.4 trillion synapses. Now, while impressive that this is only a fraction of the neurons that every human brain contains. Scientists say that we have 80 to 100 billion nerve cells, or as many stars as there are in the Milky Way. So something we can agree on is that the brain is observing, processing, and building the world around us that we live in. And because we can only be aware, which I've discussed in another previous video on defining will and power, because we can only be aware of seven to 60 bits of data that at a time, that we are experiencing a limited field of reality. So where does the will fit in? Is it a state of mind? Is it a kind of energy? So the human will can provide us with the inner power to achieve all of the possibilities for ourselves and for our world in which we can envision. But why have we seemed helplessly unable to manifest exactly what it is that we want and imagine for ourselves? So that is to say that the mystery of will is best explained by treating it as a fundamental category of human life. That is to say, the will can be seen as something so basic to who we are that it cannot be explained in terms of the other essential building blocks, such as energy and mind. So by way of analogy, we can think of color. There are three primary pigments: red, blue, and yellow. Now these are the three basic building blocks of all other colors. Green is explained by the interaction of the other two primary colors, yellow and blue. The color purple is explained by the interaction of red and blue, but how can blueness be explained? It's not a specialized form of red or yellow, nor can it be created by a specialized mixing of these other two primary colors. So in a similar way, we can think of will like a basic category of life and of life's fundamental colors. One of life's fundamental colors, it can be explained it can't be explained as an energy nor as a particular state of mind. Life can be understood and giving meaning only as we are able to see and relate to will as an independent faculty, on equal footing as part of a triad of will, energy, and mind. So we can go further and say that it's what makes us non-machine-like. It gives us the ability to be inspired to imagination and to have imagination and to be capable of choice. We can never build a machine-like model of life that fully includes the impact of will, because will is not in the realm of order. We can build models or analogies which help us understand how will operates, but our efforts would be limited because will can't be reduced to a mechanistic formula. If we were made up of just mind and energy, then sophisticated flowcharts might be able to account for all of human experience. If we were just mind and energy, then highly advanced computers could simulate consciousness. But the will makes machine-like replication impossible. Will as one of the three fundamental ingredients of the human soul, along with mind and life energy, makes us human beings. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and if you have, you can check out the rest of the videos in the series and a ton of articles that I've got written, some PDFs and some free stuff and some amazing things that you can use to advance and go farther. If you're a very big reader and you're into being an overachiever, you can check that out too. It's all at skyonmedia.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.